What's up, guys? Welcome to AusHoopers TV. Today we've got on Nick Kay, probably one of the most underrated players in the whole world. Definitely was a big piece in the Boomers campaign and leading us to bronze. Former Perth Wildcat, played in Spain last year, is about to play in Japan. Another fan favourite from the Boomers. We're excited to have another Boomer on. Obviously, Hesh's favourite player. Next we got to get a Mitch McCarron.
Yeah.
Facts. We'll get straight into it. What's up, Nick? How you doing?
Yeah, good, man.
Long time, man. How you been, bro?
Yeah, doing well, man. Just enjoying life in Japan and trying to make the most of it over here and stuff. So been good so far. How you
in
been?
Quarantine at the moment?
Nah, just because I went straight from Tokyo with the Olympics, that counted as quarantine time. So been free to just move around and stuff. So it's been good.
Nice. Pre-season at the moment or still off-season?
Pre-season. So right now, just indies and lifting. I think the rest of the boys, a couple more imports coming in. They got in to about 2 days ago, but they got their quarantine for 2 weeks. So I think we'll hit the ground running started in September.
Cool, man. That's awesome.
All right. First things first. I don't know if you know Nick, but you're Hesh's favorite Boomer. He's been hyping you up since the first rosters came out. So he was
for real. I have, yeah.
Yeah. So he was out of his seat when you said you'd jump on. So we'll get into the Boomer stuff first. Congratulations on the bronze. We asked Chris Goulding if he's still in shock, and he said, "No, not really, but he's still got the chills and stuff like that from winning." How does it feel? Has it sunk in for you yet?
I mean, it's sunk in now. I think those first few days was all about just embracing it all and staying off the phone, just around the guys and trying to celebrate that as much as we could. But having a couple of weeks now, it's kind of sunk in a bit more, and it's kind of about trying to promote it throughout Oz and stuff, and keep basketball in front of the media, and try to keep getting more and more kids involved too.
The first time I watched you represent for Australia was 2017, obviously for the Asia Cup. You also won gold at the 2018 Commonwealth Games and obviously bronze at this most recent one. How do all those experiences compare to each other? Obviously, this most recent one, it was COVID affected. So how would you compare the three?
Yeah, it's tough to compare them. Obviously, I think this one goes to a new level because of the situation in which it was. It's an Olympic Games. You have the top athletes all around. The Asia Cup was special. It was the first thing I'd done for Australia, and the group we had to go there for the first time and win a gold was awesome. I mean, such a cool environment. Com Games, it's all like there was a pressure on that we had to win, and that was enjoyable because of it. But this one just takes it to another level, and
sure,
because of that, I think it's going to mean that a little bit more.
Yeah, that's cool, man. As Ray said, man, I had you from day dot being a starter on this team. When they put out the 20-man roster, we picked our starters, and I had you at the 4 spot. I think your intangibles probably separate you from me. Like, you're able to dominate a game with like minimal touches. You don't need the ball in your hands, and you're rotating on defense, communicating, and you're setting good screens and being targeted all the time. So did you perceive that to be your role from the get-go? And then how did that change once Aaron Baines went out? These type of things talked about within the Boomers, like what your role is going to be and how it's going to change throughout a tournament?
Answer your first part. Yeah, I think if I'm ever going to make a team, I need to be great at those intangibles. And I think that's what separates me and gives me an opportunity to compete for a spot, is being able to do those little things. If it was based purely on talent, I don't think I'd make the team, but trying to do those other little factors that can help a team or assist without the ball, I think is something that is needed within a group, and it's something I love to do as well. So with Bainesy going down, obviously that's a huge loss. We didn't really need to talk about it too much because everyone knew the situation it was, and the guys had to step up. Went a lot smaller, and thankfully the system we had in play with Gorge, you're showing on a lot of ball screens and rotating. So we weren't overly impacted defensively, but we did miss that ring pressure. So just had to try and take defense to another level, and we were able to do that collectively.
Yeah, nice. Talk about defense. So you have a semi-final game, and you draw the best scorer in the world as your matchup to start the game. Run us through your thoughts, man, in preparation for that type of game. You know, the scout tells you you're matching up with KD from the get-go. What goes through your head, and how'd you feel about the challenge?
I mean, I just kept playing back that USA game in Vegas, and I remember thinking like, oh, I mean, great spot here. I've got him, and then he'd raise up, and it was like you weren't even there. So took a lot of lessons from that one. He obviously went to a different level when we got to the Olympics, and you feel like you're in the perfect spot. You're contesting, and he's just that release point so high that you really got to do your work early. And a lot of guys had to go during that game and kept trying to do things. And but he is a great player, and you've just got to try and limit him as much as you can. But I mean, that's why he's one of the best, if not the best, in the world.
Sure.
Just quickly, would you give anyone a particular tip on how to guard Kevin Durant? Anything in particular?
I mean, whatever I did didn't exactly work, but I remember replaying scenarios and stuff. I mean, he's so good at drawing fouls and stuff as well. You can't get too close. I think it's just trying to make everything as tough as you can. He's going to shoot the ball. He's going to score. You just got to try and make those things as tough as possible. And hopefully it's your night and not his on the way he's shooting the ball. So
yeah,
doesn't happen to many people, though. He generally gets the better of most matchups. So.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why he's gets paid the big bucks, right?
Wrong. Yeah, the other thing we spoke about with Chris in detail, and I think it's something that stood out to all of us, was the culture of the team. It seemed to be something that was like, it was oozing out of you guys. Organizing something like that or implementing a culture like that for this situation, was it more organic just because you had the right mix of people and it just clicked, or do you guys have culture building exercises where you have non-negotiables and you talk about things in the short preparation time? How does it eventuate to become such a big part of the moment and letting you guys get to the bronze?
Yeah, sure. I think the first and foremost things, the leadership group we have, Paddy, Joe, Deli, Mainsy, they come in from the first day, and they've got the flags up. They're playing Aussie music. We're getting around each other. We're competing. Joe's talking a little bit of shit on the side and making sure everyone's fired up, ready to go. Like, it's those little things, and then they start throwing in culture nights. Like, we had our first Boomers culture night in Vegas, and the way they went about that and incorporated new things, started traditions, did that stuff. It felt like family. It felt like just where you need to be. And I mean, it was special, and that kind of thing, whether you want to or not, impacts people in a positive way, and definitely promoted that Boomers culture and helped us come away with a medal.
Sure. We'll get into your early life and your junior years. Let's go back a bit in time. You were born and raised in Tamworth. How was basketball introduced to you, and how was the basketball scene there particularly?
Yeah, basketball was introduced to me by my year 2 teacher. She just thought it'd be perfect for me, got involved, and kind of never looked back. Had a good group of friends that we loved playing, and then we just kind of every year it was get in the basketball team, go at it, and then we started playing reps and just kept rolling from there. But just the social aspect, really loved the group we had, and I think our first game we ever played in reps, we lost about like 126-4 or something. We got smacked, but we loved it, and by the time we reached 16s, 18s, we were winning every game. So it's that kind of thing where we just stuck with it and enjoyed it so much.
Crazy. We had a lot of people swipe up on our stories saying Tamworth legend. So I think a lot of people back home are fans.
You got to keep repping Tamworth. I mean, it's always going to be home, and the heart's always there.
That's cool.
For sure. You get to that kind of 16s, 18s age group, and then end up at Newington College. For those of you who don't know, Newington's, I guess, Reese, you might not know, but being from Sydney, like it's the benchmark of the basketball programs in the state. Coach Rex Nottage does a phenomenal job. I actually coach at Grammar now, Nick, so I'm used to getting whipped with you guys every year. But yeah. So how did that opportunity come about? How many years did you spend there, and how was that experience for you coming from the country to a city life?
I actually became a reserve for the school state team, and one of the guys pulled out, and Nottage basically said that I'm welcome to come and be involved, but I'm not going to play much. And shoes I couldn't get down there quick enough. I mean, I couldn't wait to go down there and be involved in that state team. And from that week of playing games and trainings leading up to it, he said, mate, if you want to give this a crack, come down here for the next year. And I just went down there for year 12, 1 year, gave it all. It changed my life with the work ethic, school for sure, the way I focused on the books and stuff and had that balance was a game changer for me. And if it wasn't for that, I never would have went to college and basketball pro would be done. So, I mean, I can't thank him enough for that opportunity he gave me.
Sure. And then after that, you had a 4-year career at Metro State. What made you choose that? I'm sure you had a couple of D1 schools looking at you. What was the deciding factor?
I mean, the big thing was the history of Metro State, the Aussies that had been there before, and guys like Wertho, Wagstaff, Barlow, a lot of good, talented Aussies that went on to play for the Boomers and stuff. And coach got on to me and had a chat with him, and I just knew it was the right place from then on. The way he spoke, the opportunity that presented itself there, and the opportunity to play in college was a big thing for me. I needed to play if I wanted to get better, and had to work for it. But I mean, his system was great for me.
Sure.
Yeah. Was Mitch McCarron there with you at the same time?
Yeah, he was. He wasn't there originally when I signed, but a couple months later he signed. And I mean, that was probably a huge reason why I loved it so much, was mine and his relationship throughout made that whole thing so much easier. And I think we both got so much better because we had someone there we could always rely on and be around and keep that Aussie vibe going throughout that USA experience.
Yeah, nice. How did you transition from the Australian basketball scene to college?
I mean, it's tough. It's so much quicker. And for a non-athletic guy like me, it took a little bit of adjusting. And then you go from being the oldest to back to a freshman, and there's some grown men in that college system and they're ready to go. So definitely took a little bit of adjustment, but I mean, because of that, I got better so much quicker, and that pace, you started to get used to it as well.
We'll get into your pro career. You signed your first professional contract with Townsville in 2015. Correct us if we're wrong on any of these, by the way. How did that opportunity arise? How did it feel inking that first deal?
I mean, I honestly didn't think I was going to play pro until probably my junior year at college, and I thought maybe I had a chance. And then when I came out of senior year, got on to my agent Jeff, and he said, we got a couple of things we can work on, but I think Townsville's the way to go. Spoke to SD up there and had some good chats, and they were really trying to build something up there. And I mean, I was playing behind Conklin, who was league MVP the year before, and thought I'd learn a hell of a lot from him. And I definitely did. He came into training, big boying me on a few plays and stuff, but definitely helped me grow pretty quick into that, what it takes to be a professional. And it's a shame they didn't stick around, because I was looking forward to going back the year after, but I mean, that's part of pro sport as well.
You won Rookie of the Year that year, averaging 10 and 6. You then signed with the Illawarra Hawks. That was your first multi-year deal. Did you have a few different options? What made you choose the Hawks?
Well, originally I was heading back to Townsville. I had the contract in the mail ready to go, and then they folded, and free agency had already kicked off. I was feeling like a little behind the bend, but talking to SD again, and then talking to Bevo. I mean, Bevo's a great players coach. The way he coaches guys, the way he gets people to buy in and play hard and do all that stuff, it was pretty obvious choice for me at the time where I was. And he definitely taught me a lot, and grateful for the opportunity to go there. And Illawarra is such a beautiful place as well. It's awesome, such a blue collar town, and it was a great place to further develop for sure.
Yeah, I remember you at the Hawks. That's where I met you, obviously, when I was training down there. And first thing I noticed was, like, defensively, you were just better than everyone on the team easily, like just rotating and rebounding the shit out of the ball. So it was like clearly separating yourself, and your IQ was high as well. I felt like, just from my experience there, you were, even though you didn't say too much, I felt like you had a huge impact on the team with, like, leading through your actions. I just felt like you were always put yourself in the forefront there. Do you find that's something that you take pride in, taking on like a leadership role when you go to different clubs? You've played for a few now.
Yeah, I guess being a vocal leader is not necessarily something that I'm overly comfortable with or do a whole lot, but I feel like if I can lead with my actions, it's something that can help inspire or drive other people to take that next step as well. And I'm a big believer in that. If you do the right thing on the court, you play hard and do all those little things, you'll have success for you and others as well. So I'm always going to try to play hard, do the right thing out there, and hopefully that helps the other guys as well.
For sure, man. And you mentioned Bevo. Obviously, I have a huge amount of respect for him, giving me a chance out that way. And just as a coach, as a person, I think he's awesome. Like you said, to play as coach. You still talk to him? Still in touch with him?
Messages back and forth here and stuff. I mean, he's such a good dude and stuff, and he's such a loyal guy as well. Like, he's always got your back. It's a great guy to talk to, and anytime we're in the same city, we'll catch up for a drink or something and have a yarn. So he had a good season over there in Southland this year, and hopefully he's back in the NBL in the near future.
Yeah, for sure.
After Illawarra, you then moved to Perth, where you then continue to make a name for yourself. NBL first team, 2 championships, including Game 3 in 2019. I think you had 30 points, 7 threes, crazy performance. How was that first chip?
First one was special. I mean, big reason going to Perth was to work under Matt Nielsen. Obviously, he's one of those guys that is pinnacle of basketball Australia right there, captain. And I just thought if I'd had the opportunity to work under him, I could really grow as a player and as a person. And to go out there and win that first year's championship, especially for Greg with his retirement and stuff, it was great to be able to do that for him and send him off the right way. And I mean, the smile on my face is huge. It was so cool to win, especially on someone else's home court. And I mean, it's your first one. I don't think you ever forget your first one, right?
Yeah, for sure. You then backed it up the following year, the COVID-riddled year. Obviously, the finals was cut short, but it still counts. That's what matters. How did that one feel? And how was your time at Perth overall?
Yeah, obviously time at Perth is unreal. It's a place that if I have the opportunity to go back to, I would love to, because the way they treat players over there, the success the club's had, and it's such a family environment as well. But that second year, obviously different feelings. Weren't able to have that gratitude of just final buzzer going off. Feels kind of like it was just left there and stuff. But we obviously worked our butts off all season, and we knew heading into that final weekend, that we had a chance. We didn't know what was going to happen, so we were like, we have to win this. You don't know what's going to happen, so every game felt like a one and done type situation. So you put yourself in the right positions and situations, and good things pay off, and that's what happened at the end.
Just quickly, where were you when you found out that you won the championship? Because I know they did it like a week after, did they not?
Yeah, so initially I was sitting, we got home the day before.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting, went in, getting ready for the game the following Friday or whatever. And I think it was a Tuesday, and I was like, what's going on? Like, my phone's blowing up with messages like, oh, the NBL is going to call it off. And I was like, what is going on? And then once they announced it was off, it was kind of surreal for a little bit there. And then a few of the guys got around each other, and we're able to spend a bit of time hanging out that night. But we ended up finding out the next day. All went into the Wildcats office, and they had a broadcast, and it was still cool to be able to do that as a group and hear that as everyone there at the same time. So it was good. It was really nice the way they did that.
Cool.
Definitely weird to normally you find out from your phone, like, or a call. You make a team, you find out that you win a championship through a phone call. Man, that's weird. For sure.
Doesn't happen very often, but
yeah, for sure. That ended your stint at Perth. Had one more year on the contract, but you left obviously to go to Spain. Why was that, and what was the year like in Spain, and how did that basketball compare to Australian basketball?
Yeah, big reason was always wanted to try to play overseas. Spanish League, the ACB is one of the best leagues outside of the NBA, and I thought that heading into an Olympic year, that going against these European guys would really benefit me. I think I struggled early in the World Cup against those bigger, stronger athletic guys, and I thought this would drop that gap quickest way, and I felt like it really benefited me. It wasn't the best year individually I've had, but I learned a lot from my time there, and I definitely grew as a person and as a player because of it.
How's the basketball from like Spain to Australia? They always talk about differences and things. How did you find it?
Yeah, obviously a lot more system based. A lot of plays, not a whole lot of offensive transition like the NBL. A lot less pull up threes and early shot clock shots, but ball movement's huge. A lot of set plays where you get into a certain action and a lot of 1-5 ball screen with spacing around. But your ability to move off the ball and stuff definitely grew because of that situation and trying to find good reads out of that stuff.
Sure. Earlier this year, you made the choice to go sign with the Japanese B League. Run us through that decision, and are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, tough decision. Obviously, leaving Europe and heading to Japan. I think you had to sign your contract and be all set and done before June 15th. So they're on a different window to everyone else. So if you went that path, you're obviously not giving yourself the opportunity to see what else is out there. But Paul Hanare took a new job over here at Shimane, and speaking of him, I felt like it was a no-brainer for the time. He trying to put together a good program here with some new guys coming in, and I've played for him before, and I know how he's a hell of a coach. And I think if you got the right coach and the right system and stuff, you as a player can flourish. So looking forward to it, and I mean, I just can't wait for it to get started now.
For sure. I just wanted to ask you quickly. I know you signed with Spain and now you're going to Japan, or you are in Japan. I asked Homicide, he came on, and I was just like, is it tough with the language barrier? Because obviously half the team doesn't speak English when they're caught in the subs and the timeouts, and it's not your language. Was that a thing in Spain, and how did it affect you?
Yeah, it has its moments where it's tough. My Spanish isn't great, that's for sure. So thankfully the coach was all right with his English and did his own translations and stuff. But for example, in Japan, they've got a translator over here for the Japanese guys, actually, because Paulie speaks English, and it's made my life a bit easier. But also just having that translator around does make it a little bit of a slower process. But it just takes some adjusting, going to the shops and stuff, different food, trying to order and that, all different. But it's also part of the culture, part of the life experience of traveling the world, and there's a lot of benefits with that little setback.
For sure. What about from a basketball standpoint, man? I was keen to see you in the summer league, to be honest. I thought after the Boomers campaign, we'd have a few guys in there. Is it something that you want to do? We asked Chris Gordy, and Chris was like, nah, summer league's not for him. He's done with trying to vibe his way and be seen in that environment. What about yourself? Is the NBA kind of something that you want to build towards, and are you taking the steps to try and get there? Or?
Yeah, I think if the right opportunity presented itself, I would jump at it without a doubt. But I think one of the things I learned a lot last year in Spain was not to get ahead of yourself. Just look at, enjoy the moment, the situation you're in, and make the most of it. Because if you do that and you play the right way, you do the right things, good things will happen. And felt like last year I kind of got a little bit ahead of myself and started looking ahead, and I didn't make the most of what I could have. So that's what this year is about. It's enjoying being in Japan, making the most of it, and if something good happens, great. If it doesn't, I'm going to have a hell of a year over here and enjoy it as well.
Yeah, it's a great attitude to have. What about from a longer term standpoint? Goals as a player, and what do you plan on or see yourself doing after the playing career ends?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer in studying and stuff while you play, trying to have something going on the side, and obviously trying to invest here and there, but also doing some uni as well. And I've picked up a degree from college. I've done grad cert in OH&S, and I'm going to continue to do some more as the years go on. So just trying to set myself up with a nice job when basketball's said and done, because it definitely doesn't last forever.
What about coaching? I reckon you'd be a solid
Yeah.
coach, man.
I don't know. It's never really jumped out at me. I mean, the right situation presented itself maybe, but you do miss a lot of stuff when you're off playing overseas, and miss a lot of birthdays, a lot of family occasions and stuff. So I think even for a couple of years, getting back and being able to be there for your family, your friends and stuff would be nice to do first.
Sure.
We asked Chris this: can we expect to see you at Paris 2024?
And I thought I'd be one and done with this one. Obviously, it's going to be tough to make that Paris team. There's a lot of good players coming up and coming through, and even before that, you got the World Cup beforehand. So I'd love to compete for it. I'm going to go give it all I can. If I get the opportunity to go there and try and earn a spot, I'm going to do that. But I mean, as I said, there's a lot of good players coming up, and just because you're in at one time doesn't mean you're guaranteed a spot next time. So we'll see what happens, and fingers crossed I'm playing well and can do the right thing, and they need someone like me in the group.
Sure. All right, we're going to get into our fan questions. This is a topic we do. We put these on our stories for our followers to ask you.
Sweet.
The first question is, what's your best performance in Tamworth, State League, etc.?
Best in Tamworth, that's a tough one. Goodness, it has to be like back to under 18s or something. I think we made top 4 in the state, and I mean that was something special for us. I don't think we'd ever been there as a group before, and to do that with the mates, that's definitely got to be the moment I remember.
What about yourself individually from that one? Surely you would have had like a 50, 60 piece somewhere along the way.
Mate, you've seen the way I played. There's not a whole lot of big scoring nights to go along with it, but I mean, there was a few good games back then and stuff, but I mean, we had a pretty good team, and just whatever it took to win at that stage.
For sure. All right, the second question comes from M_McCarran. You were faster texting on the Nokia brick or the iPhone? That's what he wants to know.
I missed the Nokia brick. That was our first year at college, and we bought $20 phones, and trying to message people or get people's numbers and stuff on that thing didn't exactly have its moments, but it was good fun to have, and the thing never broke. I'm pretty sure it'd be still around somewhere if I could have a look.
For sure.
Someone asked, funniest Boomer teammate.
Funniest Boomer teammate.
Yeah.
I'll give it to Chris. He's got his moments. You can definitely have some good laughs at the guy, or he throws out some comments and you can't help but laugh. So let's give it to him.
Nice. What do you miss most about playing in the NBL?
I miss. There's a lot of things you miss about Aussie. It's such a great country, and I mean, you got everything there, family and stuff. I do enjoy the pace of the NBL, the way you get up and down, you play hard, and then obviously the lifestyle. You're playing during summer. It's great to be there. You get to head to the beach and stuff after games with your mates and that, and it is so competitive. So a lot of things I miss about it, but just not quite ready to head back at this point.
Sure. Someone asked, is it harder to score in the NBL or Europe, and why?
I would say harder to score in Europe, and that would be primarily because it is so set-based. You're running a play to get to an action, and you find yourself standing in the corner a hell of a lot during some of those games.
This is our second segment, 10 quick questions.
Cool.
These are just rapid-fire questions. Answer them at best.
No problem.
Favorite NBA player and why?
Favorite? Let's go talk back a little bit. Dirk Nowitzki. Just love the way he played the game.
For sure.
Nice. Who's the most underrated player that you know of?
Underrated player. Goodness. Yeah, I got nothing for you now. I don't know who. There's so many guys that are just so good out there. Yeah, skip that one. I got no idea for that one.
Pass. Hardest player you've ever had to guard? There could be an obvious one here.
Yeah, I think the obvious one goes to KD. I think the way he just gets his shot off and the way you can just score over so many different coverages, he's unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably the best answer you'll get. Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Backed up on this question as well. KD or Giannis right now? Who are you starting a franchise with?
Still going KD. I mean, I think guys are more drawn to KD as well as for starting a franchise than they would be to Giannis.
Good answer. Dinner with 5 people, dead or alive.
That's a good one.
Can be anyone.
Goodness. Wow. I mean, there's so many good people to choose from here. Let's go someone like a Gandhi. Let's go Nelson Mandela. Martin Luther King. Let's throw like a Jesus in there for the mix, and then throw a new comedian in there. You know what? I'll throw me Gramps in there because I'm sure he'd love it as well.
That's a good one.
All right. AFL or NRL?
Shivers. NRL being a New South boy, but do love watching AFL as well.
Favorite meal?
Favorite meal. Favorite food is blueberry muffins. They're the best, but if I had to have a meal, just to go some steak and chippies.
Can't go wrong.
Nice. Who's winning the NBA championship next year?
Next year, let's go a bit of an underdog here. I'm going to go with me Nuggets.
Damn. That's my dark horse pick. I like the Nuggets.
Love the Nuggets.
Favorite coach of all time that you've had?
Favorite coach? Wow.
Just to jump in there, Nick, I think Nick's played for Bevo, played for Trevor Gleeson at Perth.
Yep.
Played for Lamanis with the Boomers and played for Gorgon with the Boomers. Those are like the 4 greatest Australian coaches of all time.
You're killing me. I can't answer this one. This one just does not end well. I mean, I'm fortunate to have played for so many good coaches out here, and it's too tough to pick one because they've all provided me with different opportunities and different life experiences where I wouldn't be where I am today without any of them. So I'm so grateful.
For sure.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's. I don't think there's many players that have played for as many good coaches.
I mean, that's just 4. I mean, you then start throwing Paulie Hanare, Nottage, DC over the States, and it's just everyone provides you with something new, and you get better because of them.
For sure. All right, this little concept is blowing up. I don't know how closely you follow social media, but there's been a few little arguments going on about this with the younger hoopers. Which state in Australia produces the best basketball players?
Oh, New South Wales, but that's a little biased. I'm a New South Welshman, but I'd back us.
Good, sure. Good answer. I love the confidence. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much, Nick, for joining us. We appreciate it. Good luck in Japan. We'll be following you, and hopefully we can see you in Paris in 2024.
Appreciate it, guys. No problem. And yeah, send us through the link and stuff, and I'll post it on social media and stuff too. So
for sure.
Appreciate it. Really appreciate your time, man. Hey, just real quick, Reese was saying that he read a tweet the other day, and I reckon this is cool. You'd probably like this one. He was saying he read something from someone that said the new thing that's going to start in basketball is going to be, oh, we need a Nick K on this team.
Yeah, and it kind of blew up on Twitter.
I did come around at some point, but I mean, there's a lot of guys that did what I did before I got here. I'm the most recent.
I think you put it on the map a little bit because I've been around like a lot of NBL guys and stuff, and for the amount of humility it takes, I reckon, to actually know what your limitations are, what your role is, and to go out there and do it with pride and do it to the best of your ability, and then for it to have such a big impact to win a country a bronze medal, I don't think that can be understated, man. So keep that up.
Appreciate it, man. I mean, if it was on talent, I wouldn't be able to do it. Like I tried to do those intangibles, and I mean, as you said, there's only one ball out there. I prefer Paddy shooting the ball and getting him open than me taking a tough shot. So I love it, and you need those type of guys on teams.
Sure, I think you do that best.
Appreciate that, Nick, man. We'll be in touch, though. Appreciate it.
Perfect. Sure. Catch you guys. Bye.
Catch you later, Nick. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Please subscribe and follow us on whatever listening platform you are listening on, or if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Let us know who we should have on next. And we appreciate you guys' continuous support. We'll catch you next time.